All right, y'all. We're back here with another one. It is Combat Esports Media. It's your boy Jamie.
And also, it's your boy Darkside here, as always.
And today we have Study. Study, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, guys. How are you?
Doing good.
Fantastic.
And let me ask you, man. Let's jump right into it. Let's talk about your career, man. How did you get started?
Oh, well, I actually started uploading videos in like 2014, but I done it on another channel, and I originally played the demo of NBA Live 2014. I was terrible. I only knew one player, it was Westbrook, and I uploaded a highlight video just to show my friends at college, and that was why I started uploading videos. It was quite the ordeal. I used to have to take the raw clips, edit them on the PlayStation Share Factory, then put them on a memory stick, take them to college, put them in the college computer, upload them, then during the break make thumbnails using the college's Photoshop, and then upload them back at home because you couldn't upload them from the college servers. That was to get about 2 views a month, but here we are.
And like Jay was saying, like, just to elaborate on that too, because go off with how you're starting out from the beginning. Like, a lot of people in our positions, like, they always ask us in one way or another, like, should they start making content, or like they don't have this equipment or they don't have this to begin with starting to make content. But like you just explained, like you started like basically for the Share Factory from the PlayStation and just using raw clips. So like for people who are like trying to get started making content and people starting from basically nothing, like what would you give like a word of advice to people like that?
So I get messages like that saying, when ESBC drops, when Call of Duty drops, I'm going to make videos. And I'm like, well, just do it. Like, don't wait for a game because you're just going to join the crowd. Just don't. You get people that say, I need to, but what capture card should I buy? I'm going to buy this Elgato. I'll buy this webcam. Like I said, I started with a laptop that had 6 keys missing. My broadband was, I think I was getting. I think to upload. I think I uploaded a 6-minute Destiny video once, and it took 4.5 hours. My broadband was shocking. So you don't need mic. I remember I bought a mic on Amazon from £5. It was shit. I just ended up using a microphone you got with. Do you remember the earbud you got with the PS4? That was what I used. I used the Share Factory. I used a £4 memory stick from PC World. There was no like fancy shit. I was just like, I enjoy doing this. The problem is people, in my opinion, sometimes people are like, the first video I make is gonna be viral. It's just not. Just do it for fun and see what happens. Like, I was always so worried about, oh, I got 100 less views than normal. Now I'm like, oh, fuck it. At the minute I've got 14 videos scheduled. I don't think I've checked my channel for 2 days. Because just do it and do it for fun, and that's it. I'd say if people want to do it, just do it now. Get a logo, get a banner, even if it's just an image off Google. Come up with something like, I mean, and like Marshall Mind made a video talking about it the other day, but I spent ages trying to think of something that I could call subscribers. You know how PewDiePie has bros? And I thought, oh, I'll call them something. Don't do that shit. Just do yourself. Like, like at the end of the day, like, I've had people say, oh, I like you because this. At the end of the day, I'm a bit of a dickhead. I swear a lot and I talk a lot. That's it. People will get used to that and they'll either enjoy it or they won't. So if I'm starting from scratch again, I don't have any of this again, and I'd do it all over again. Like I said, I didn't get a webcam until Christmas 2021. That was because my partner bought me one, so I actually still wouldn't have one if it wasn't for her. I saved up, I think, for about 2 months to buy this mic that I still have 4 years later. It was £120, and that was my investment. The first PC I ever bought myself was about 500 quid, and it was the display model. And I put my Elgato in, and it crashed because it was so slow. But I just worked with it. But that was 3 years after making videos. And on my old channel, using nothing but the Share Factory, that earbud, and the college computers, I got 4,000 subscribers on my older channel. That I obviously don't have anymore. But still, you don't need the fancy equipment. It is better to have the fancy equipment now, of course. But just, everyone's doing it. That's why the PlayStation has the Share Factory. That's why there's editing software that is free. It's not fancy, but just if you were gonna do it, just do it. Is kind of my point. Don't wait for Christmas. Wait until you get the £10,000 PC and the £500 mic. I mean, this mic was 120 quid, and it's fucking brilliant. You don't need to buy the fanciest Razer shit out there. Like that's my problem is people will buy the an Alienware PC for $6,000. Like I can barely turn my PC on, but as long as it works, I'm happy with it. You know what I mean? So I'd say if you want to do it, just do it. I mean, like Darkside, you've done a lot of Fight Night Champion stuff. You could have waited for ESBC, but you didn't, and now you've got a nice following. It's the same with Jay. Jay could have waited for UFC 5, but he didn't. He said, "Fuck it." Like, Marshall Mine. If people were worried about like, I'll wait for ESBC to become big, it's not going to happen like that. If people were scared of like, this creator's already doing it. Marshall Mine's already got UFC. You could say Showbiz already holds boxing. Ricky J does comedy stuff. You can't be like, this guy's doing this, so I'll wait for this next game to come out, because there's always going to be someone bigger doing it better. I guarantee you, ESBC drops, Chris Smooth is making a career mode on it. We don't stand a chance against that guy. He is going to rinse us something crying. That will happen, but we just have to accept that, and you just don't worry about it. Just use what you've got. At the end of the day, not everyone's got money. That's the way it be. So don't compare yourself to someone that's got rich parents. I sure as fuck didn't. That's why I bought a £5 mic on Amazon, and when it didn't work, I got so annoyed I bit it in half. I actually bit it in half and fucked it up. And I was like, all right, well that's that rule. That's £5 down the pisser. So I just didn't buy cheap shit. I just used the cheap shit I had and figured out how to make it better. That's what I did.
Yeah, and you mentioned something talking about a lot of people I've seen it in the comment sections from people that I've talked to. I'm gonna wait on this game. I'm gonna continuously waiting. Pryox is we talk a lot, and he used to always tell me this. Like when I first started, it was always if you don't do it, there's the guarantee that it'll never happen. And that always, I was like, hold on now, that's a good one. And I was like, looking at it now, I'm like, he's right. And I see a lot of guys, they're coming up and they're just so worried about what this dude's doing. And like you said, Marshall said in his video, you just gotta stand out and be unique. But transitioning into that, I want to ask you, what about your channel do you think that just blew you up on the scene?
I don't. If I'm honest, I don't think anything. I think in a way everyone's unique. As cheesy as that sounds, I'm not. Me and you can play the same game. We can use the same fighters. We can play the same fights. It will always be different because our brains will work differently during said fight. I don't think anything really made. I think that's the point. Mr. Beast, for example, he is freakily unique. I am not. I'm just me, and some people say the accent is funny. Some people say the amount of swearing is funny. I've had people come on and go, "Can you not swear?" And I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like it doesn't work like that. So I don't think that like UFC 4 helped, because I covered a lot of the, as a lot of people did, but like when they dropped the they dropped some screenshots of like people's overalls that were coming out, and I made videos, a 4-part video, and that got like 10,000 views a video, and that was when I was at like 2K. So stuff like that helped. Like, but that's what I mean. That helped me, and the game wasn't out. So had I waited for UFC 4, I wouldn't have hit that 4,000 subscriber mark before UFC 4 came out. I would still be at 350. That's my point with that waiting. My first commentary video was a Madden video, and I spoke with American accent. I don't know why. I just panicked and spoke as if I was American doing this pack opening, and it was awful. It's on another channel. It's hidden away. I don't know the email, so I can't delete it. So I just pray that no one finds it. But that's just the way it be. I don't think there's anything that makes us all unique to the point where we're going to have 100 million subscribers. Like, it's just the way I think my thing is I upload every day at 8 o'clock without fail, and I do stupid shit with games. Like, Jay is very, very good at UFC. Darkside I've seen is very, very good at Fight Night Champion. I'm not. I'm terrible. If we fight Fight Night Champion, I can fight realistically. But if you said I'm gonna beat Studdy this round, you would do it. I guarantee you. You would kick the fuck out of me. Whereas I was like, okay, I'm bad at UFC 4. Like, I'll go to Division 10. That's me done. What can I do? And I thought I can test to see how quick I can break the game. and I made a video for losing every fight in the career mode. Everyone's, the career mode's dead, the career mode's shit. No one's getting views on the career mode. I uploaded that video and got 97,000 views on it because people were just like, how has this guy broken the career mode? Then I done the, can you get an upkick KO? You can't. Still got 10,000 views. Then I played the older games. That really picked up, obviously, as you guys have seen with the Undisputed 3 and the Undisputed series. And people just like that kick of nostalgia. And I think what's fun for a lot of people is, obviously, I don't know people's ages, but I'm 24. So Knockout Kings 2001 came out when I was 4. I, of course, didn't play it when I was 4. I was busy playing San Andreas and stuff, but that's beside the point. But, you know, I'm now playing it now as a 24-year-old for the first time, and there's people that are 35 coming into the comments of my video and saying, oh, I remember getting this when I was a teenager with my mates, and it's cool to see you experience it the same way we did. And that's it. I just thought, what's the problem at the minute? I like UFC, I like boxing. We don't have boxing games. UFC 4 sucks ass, and I'm not good at it. Like, I'm just not. So I was like, what can I do? I can play the older games that people love, and I can do dumb shit on the game that people hate. And that was kind of what I done. And that was kind of how I got to like 5-6K. Then I hit this huge divot, which was really demoralizing, where I was barely breaking 100 views a video, and I was like, just fucking stick it out, man. Like, you enjoy it, don't let the numbers bum you out, just ignore it, just keep doing it. And I did. I kept doing it, and now it's like 1,000 views a video within 12 hours. So it's pretty, which is awesome. Obviously, it's absolutely incredible. But it's to the point where when I stop caring about the numbers come. So people care about numbers, don't care. That's kind of my point to it. Like, don't give a shit about it. You, at the end of the day, if you had 1 million subscribers, you get 10 views, then worry. If you got 1,000 subscribers and you're getting 80 views, that's just shy of 10%. PewDiePie's got 100 odd million. He doesn't get 10 million views a video, which is 10%. So when you look at it like that, if you're 1,000 subscribers, you're getting 80 views. That's not that bad. Just how YouTube works.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned like the skill level in games too, because I feel like a lot of people, it actually is like it's two sides of a coin. There's a lot of people who are really good in the game and think just because they're good in the game that they'll be able to make good content, or that's all they need to do to be able to make good content. And on the other side of that, there's a lot of people who I think are pretty entertaining, but also feel like if they're not good at a game, then they can't make content. So really, I think it's a good point that you mentioned that even if you're not good in the game, that's really doesn't limit you from not being able to make content. You don't have to be the best in the game to be able to make content. Like even in like a game, like I play UFC 4, I make UFC 4 videos, and I know I'm not even close to the skill level people like Pry and Marshall, things like that. But you don't have to be the best to be able to make a video in the game. As long as you can be yourself and be entertaining, you can still have fun in the game. Like Studdy has mentioned, he plays older games that a lot of people don't even play nowadays, but he still makes entertaining and fun for people, and it's really taken off on his channel. But to go along with that also, Studdy, like you kind of mentioned it in that spirit there. I think one thing that I can say about a lot of the successful YouTubers that I know at least, like, is that consistency. Like you, Jay, and Pry are probably like the 3 people I know, like off the top of my head, who have like not just upload consistently, but upload multiple videos consistently, I would say, on like a pretty daily basis for the most part. So like I've talked to Jay about how he does like his videos as far as like managing the content that he does. Like what's kind of like your process for like keeping that upload schedule, like multiple videos at a time?
So I pretty much write down my video ideas on a notepad. And I'll have like recording days, and I'll just but, and then I'm editing until 2 in the morning. That's kind of it. So I've got like 4 videos, and like tomorrow I can take it a bit easier. The day after I can take it a bit easier. Then it's like the 3rd day, overdrive again. However, because I'm playing UFC 2, which has got hilarious ragdolls, I don't double upload every day like Pry. He double uploads every day, which is just I don't know how. I couldn't. I'd run out of videos in an instant. So my thing is now every 4 or 5 days I upload a 30-second to minute video of these older games. It's a clip that people can just click on, watch something funny for 30 seconds and go, oh yeah, good one. And they carry on with their day. They don't need to devote 25 minutes to that of their time to listen to me. It doesn't even have my commentary most of the time. It's just a bit of gameplay that people have a laugh at. That's kind of how I do it. But I do believe that consistency is key with the YouTube thing. If you have your thing as I upload on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, awesome. But I do believe there is a point where you cannot just like say Jay, if he was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday uploads, then Friday he wasn't there, people would be like, all right, fair enough, one day, look, maybe people would notice, same as me, same as even Marshall, people might not notice one day, but say if Jay didn't upload Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, then come back with 3 videos on a Wednesday, then fucked off for a week and a half, people are just going to be like, well, there's no point in investing in this person. Because in the end of the day, that's what YouTube is people will say, oh, you need to take a break from it. You do. If you enjoy it, then you wouldn't want to take a break from it. Like you like with anything in life, in sports and whatever. If I don't know what hobbies are, but you know what I mean. And so you can be consistent. It doesn't have to be every day, but it needs to be consistent in some manner. And that's the way it is. And with YouTube, people invest in your character. People know Jay, and people make fun of my intro. That the what's going on, guys. People say it's all one word. And apparently some Americans can't understand it. It just sounds. I don't get that, but people find it funny. So I'm like, all right, fair enough. Like and people will know Jay's intro, and they'll know Martial Mind, and they'll know that after this fight night, Martial Mind's going to talk about the video. If he suddenly stops, or if he suddenly does all his jiu-jitsu stuff and no UFC, people are going to start noticing that, and they're going to be like, all right, I like this, but I'm invested in you playing the game. They're not invested in the game. No one's invested in UFC 4. People are invested in Jay playing it, Pry playing it, Marshall playing it. That's what they're invested in. And that's my point. I've given advice to people and said consistency, and then you see people say, sometimes it's just about having a few weeks off. It's like, okay then, but like, it's for me, it's like, I have so much fun with it. I'm happy to upload every day. If you don't want to, kind of so be it. But I don't get when people moan, I'm not getting any views, I'm not getting any subscribers. Marshall helped me. Prox has helped me, Optic Scumpy helped me, and then they upload once a month. It's just like, if you want to do it, just have fun with it. I haven't banked my whole life on this. I'm not like, all right, if this fails, that's me done. That's me done. It might as well just take me out back and blow my brains out. I can do other things with my life. I've had other jobs. I've grafted 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. for bloody 60 quid a day, working as a labourer. It's absolute shit work, but I can do it. I got no issue with it. It's just, this is funner. Like, that's kind of the way it is. And I think people see it. Like, I don't watch every video that Marshall, Pry, Jay put out, but I know I can press my subscription box at midnight my time, and there will be a video at least from one of them, one video from all of them throughout that 24-hour period. And that's what I expect when I subscribe to a channel.
Yeah, and I think that's a real good point. And to touch on something that you said, I think when a lot of people see that they're not getting views, they just go, I'm gonna quit. I don't want to do it anymore. And a lot of people don't understand, man. These bigger, like you, like me, like Pride, like Dark Side. When we first started, when I was streaming, I had 0 viewers. Most of my videos were not even touching 10 views. Like you can't just, get to that point to where it's like, I don't want to do it anymore. I need someone to help me, which I'll say this, nothing is wrong with someone helping you and things like that, but if someone is gonna reach out to their audience and say, hey, subscribe to this guy, he's real cool, he makes content, and then they go on your channel, because I do it all the time. I go on your channel before I subscribe. I look and see, okay, how many times has this guy uploaded this month? Let me see how consistent he is. People don't see that, they're not gonna subscribe. It's just as simple as that. After they finish watching the video that you just collab with the bigger creator on, what else is there? They're gonna subscribe, and okay, they're not gonna watch your videos. You don't have nothing, to offer after that. So that was a real good point. That's I was in my head. I was like, dang, I was literally just telling somebody that the other day. So, but
yeah, I've got a good example.
Yeah.
Sorry, quickly. Just when I played UFC 4 with Pry, I wasn't playing UFC 4. I hadn't played it for like a month before or a month after, and someone come from his channel when I played against him and he uploaded it, and went back to his video and said, I would have subscribed, but he doesn't play much UFC 4. And that was an example for me, like, okay, if I'm going to play UFC 4 with all these creators, I need to play it more often. I didn't want to do that, so I didn't play UFC 4 with any other creators, really. Whereas, like, Fight Night, I played with Pry, and people come to my channel and saw every Fight Night that had ever been made. So that's where I realised it actually does have an effect. If you're going to play with Marshall, you're going to play with Pry, whoever, you need to be consistent. You need to remember what their audience watches. Pry's audience watches UFC. And I mean, yeah, Pry's brilliantly entertaining, but they watch his UFC videos. So if he then sends them over and I'm playing Call of Duty, they're going to be like, well, I don't give a fuck about Call of Duty. That's the way, that's the kind of way it be. You need to pick your battles. But to what you said a second ago, if people are like getting these 10 views and they're going, oh, that's it, I'm packing it in, they clearly just wanted just to make money. That's the problem. And as cheesy as it sounds, is YouTube is to make money, but I do believe if you don't have fun with it, and I mean I made videos consistently, minimum of once a week from 2014 with a break in like 2016 to end of 2020 before I actually made £1 off of YouTube. So it was 6 years with no money from YouTube, and I still uploaded all the time and had fun with it across different channels. So just don't bank on it for money. That's kind of my point there with that one.
And yeah, I just want to transition over to that logo on your shirt. So let's transition over to that game. I just want to get into this because I've seen no one talk other than Juice and Fanatico. I've really not seen anyone publicly like talk about this. So I want to ask you, every time you, Juice, Fanatico, Coach's Corner, shit, I've got it like once. I don't get it as much as y'all. Every time I see it, I promise you, it never fails. There's always this one comment. Are y'all on the ESBC payroll, man? We gotta ask y'all, man.
I wish I was. I answer the same every time. I wish I was, honestly, like, because I have such a passion for it. I want to get paid for it. That's the problem with it, is I have such a passion for it. I've spoke to them. I've said to them, I will do the full-time job, the full-time hours that these guys do for 25% of the pay. And I said, I've got no issues with that. I'll work from home. I'll work remotely. I'll get up at 7 a.m. and I'll work till 7 p.m. And they're like, no, we don't want that. I was like, trust me, I will. And they believe that I'll do that, but they're like, no, we're not paying you. So that's it. I've said to them, I'll work for you. And no, they don't want it. So no, as far as they could be. As far as I am concerned, I'm not on the payroll. I wish I was, but I'm not. If it was like £100 per video, you'd be getting 60 SBC uploads a day. Like they'd just be absolute shit, but they'd be getting them every fucking day. It'd be breaking down the what leather they have and what fucking tape they have on their gloves and all sorts. So no, if I was, you would know about it. I'd sell my soul. But no, I'm not. It's just something that I think a lot of us are passionate about, and we were just lucky enough to be the sixth that got to have expenses paid. That was the problem. We legally have to say it was all expenses paid when we went up there. So people think, oh, okay, so we were also paid, but we weren't. We made no profit. We just didn't lose out on money staying in a hotel and trains and food and stuff. That's the difference.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up too, because I was just about to ask you about that. So speaking about the event that the 6 content creators went to, now me personally, I thought like, as far as like, cause around that time, of course, we knew there was going to be like backlash against who was able to go, who wasn't able to go, and things like that. But like to me personally, I think like anybody who was like really in like the ESBC community, like if you had to like say like pick 6 people to like represent the game or go to an event, like I feel like the 6 that were chosen. I mean, like I don't think there's anybody on that list that you could have taken off and replaced with anybody else. Like I thought that was like it's like as perfect as a list as you could possibly get. Like I had like it's like I've had like games in the past where like I've seen people get in. I'm like, how did that guy get in? Like where did he even come from? Like who is this? But like I felt like this list was like as far as like the core creators. When I started following the game, Studdy, Juice, Fanatico, Coach, Concept, Reese, Biz, like those are like literally like the first people I saw talking about the game. So like I thought that was like the perfect 6 people to go to the event. And for you, Studdy, going to the event because you were on the UK side. So going to the event on the UK side, you actually got to go to the actual place where all the magic happens. How was that experience going out there and playing the game?
It was incredible, honestly. For starters, all the developers were just so brilliant. They were all so nice. I mean, they were hard at work as much as people think they aren't. They literally would turn around like they literally turned around and went, all right, and then back to their they didn't care about us. They really didn't. They were just like, leave me alone, I'm working, kind of thing, as if anyone would. But yeah, it was. I mean, to be chosen was absolutely incredible. I get why people thought like, oh, we'll invite Marshall and that, but when I spoke to them and I asked them why was Marshall not invited, Ricky J, and they said it wasn't about subscriber count. It wasn't about it. It was about people that have committed to the game and they've shown it support and they've given feedback when it wasn't asked for. And they even mentioned, we've had channels with millions of subscribers that do sports games reach out and say, send me like an early access and I'll post a little bit on my channel and I'll promote it and it will go huge. And they've turned them down because they've made it for this core community. So stick to it. That was their point. But as a whole, like in the office and seeing everything close up and having a little peek at the screens, you know, when they're all working and like, you know, seeing what, because obviously they're working on stuff in front of us. So they were saying, don't look. And I'm like, I won't. And like, you know, so making sure I did, but and seeing like, you know, them big cutouts in front of me and sitting down in that room and this big TV, and they, you know, they obviously was on PC, they clicked and opened it, and the music came on, and Caleb Plant was sitting on the stool, and it said press X to start, and I was like, fuck me, man, this is a game now. Like, this is a real, it's not this like little indie, but this is a game. And Caleb Plant's sitting there, and he's like on this stool, and he's moving, and he's not just dead still, he's kind of like got a bit of movement, and you press X and it opens up the menu, and the song comes on, and the soundtrack's pretty fucking hard as well, so it like goes with the start of the game. And it was just like, you know, I press X on play now, and these fighters come up, and I saw Crawford and almost shit my pants, and it was just like, it was honestly kind of surreal. Like, time just went by so quick. And obviously, you know, I fought Reese, and then I was like, fucking just bring on the developers one after the other. Let me just take this whole office out. Like, I was just ready for it. I was like, just bring them all up. I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, and they were like, oh, a lot of they'll face you tomorrow. I was like, nah, Dad, just bring them up in now. I'm on a tear. I'm 10-0 right now. I'm wiping through this office. But yeah, it was pretty surreal. And I get that people were like, we all want to play it, and I obviously get that, and I'm not stupid to the fact that it's amazing for me, but it feels unfair for other people. I understand that, like you said, Dark. So when these random creators, like, you get like a random YouTuber suddenly gets to play the new Assassin's Creed early, you're like, what the fuck? That's not fair. Like, you know. So I definitely get that, but it's one of those things now where it's more annoying for me. One, because I played it and now can't, but two, people don't understand. Like, trust me, when you get hands on, it's different to seeing it. People forget that, like, in general, in life, it's just the way it is. You know, videos make things look shit. Recordings, YouTube, they're all lower the quality. You're not actually playing it. It's good watching a video and being like, oh yeah, hook, uppercut, jab. But when you're there, boom, and it comes out, and it flows with the feel of the control. It's a whole nother ball game. But it was an absolutely incredible experience, and it's honestly something I cannot wait for everyone else to play, and just to see like sub boxes just filled with this shit. Like, it's gonna be so good.
Yeah, speaking on that creator event, you know, there's gonna be a lot more ESBC content creators now. Me and Darkside joked around about this. Now everybody, you know, see they getting invited. Now everybody want to make ESBC content now. It's crazy. But to your point about you know, Marshall, because there was like a lot of people, like a ton of people. I was like pretty shocked that a lot of people like actually were in agreement that, you know, some people were like, we think Marshall should have went, you know, over some of these guys. You know, obviously because of the sub count, they was like, well, I've seen Marshall, you know, upload these videos and these videos and these videos. And to Darkside's point, when he first asked the question, he was like, essentially they're paying a fan service to you guys, because like Darkside said, when I was watching it, it was you, Fanatico, Reese, Coach, Juice. It literally was y'all six. So it's like, who else? But you know, play after you've played the game, and obviously you've played, you know, Fight Night. I saw that video. You know, you played Fight Night, you played all these other games. One ESBC finally does, you know, come out. Is there going to be like, do you think it's going to be like a sort of a adjustment period from those EA games to, you know, this much slower pace one with ESBC?
Yeah, I honestly really do. I think it's going to shock a lot of people in the fact that there's going to be a lot of people within the first month saying this game is shit, I'm not playing it. It doesn't make sense. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee people are going to be like, oh, well, I like in UFC, I pulled back uppercut hook and he was fine. Like, I can see a lot of people that play these fight nights are going to, I don't want to say salty, but they're going to be salty. I think it's going to be quite a period where, don't get me wrong, I still believe that people that are good at UFC, as in freaky good, like Romero, the way he's still kind of changing the way people play UFC for, like, he doesn't box, I don't believe. I think he wrestles in real life. but he seems to have a brain for that game. Marshall as well, and Pry. I could see them getting on and being above mid-tier competitive immediately, but it is that next level of adjustments. Because like you know, when I played, for example, I fought with one of the office champions, Crawford versus Crawford. We had rounds where I was jabbing his melon off, but and second he was coming in, no backstep, but again, and he couldn't do nothing. Then there was rounds where we were both very cagey. You know, we'd maybe caught each other, and it was I think at one point, I think like round 6 something, I think we only landed like 7 shots each because we didn't want to engage, because he had hurt me in the 5th, I'd hurt him in the 4th, so we were both a bit ooh. And then round 8 and 9, he's pushing the pace a bit more. I'm like, all right, I got to start fighting off the back foot. But because they have things like the check hook, I was able to back up in that corner, bang, and he's now in that corner, and then I can let off a few shots and move away. So I think maybe that slower pace game, people accepting that going to round 5 and 6 is pretty standard, as opposed to round 1 knockouts, round 2 knockouts. I mean, even when I was schooling people, it was still going round 4 before I dropped them. And I mean, like, schooling them. You know, they could keep their block up and they were able to defend themselves well, but there comes a point where you break someone down eventually. So I think there will be that adjustment period. I think I saw people being like, you high-level Fight Night players don't stand a chance. They absolutely do, because they clearly understand how a game works. It's unfair for me to say, you're good at Fight Night, you will suck at this game. It doesn't make sense. If you're good at a boxing game, you're good at a boxing game. It's just a lot of the things that they have learned over Fight Night that, like, string together a 16-punch combination and sidestep it all works. That won't work in this. That will be the only thing they have to... Boxing Fanatico is a prime example. Day 1, he sucked. From what we heard, Day 1 he was awful. The Juice was slapping him left, right, and centre, because he, even to his own admittance, he was like, "Oh yeah, I know boxing. I played Fight Night," blah, blah, blah. And he got shit kicked out of him. Day 2 though, he comes back and he's obviously just thought, "Right, get out of that mindset." Even Reese, I was behind Reese, almost coaching him sometimes, because like he would like, let me get my controller. He would like, you know, press like, but then you'd hear where he's trying to get these shots out. And I said, just chill. I said, 1 shot at a time will do. So then it was 1, 2, 3, move away. And he turned to me a few times. He'd go, "That worked, cheers." And then he'd carry on, playing. So it is just that. It's not fair to say, "Jay, you're good at UFC. You're going to suck at this game. Might as well give up, mate." That's unfair to say that, because Jay knows how a UFC game works. He knows how to strike well. Ed Parker, who's a very good boxer in UFC, he will become good at the game as well. It's not. I don't get this rivalry. Like, I don't get it. For me personally, I would love next year to have ESBC on my desk, UFC 5, 1 championship, Fight Night remastered. I'd love it all. Like, I don't get where the UFC community have got such a hard on to shit on ESBC, and some members of the ESBC community have got a hard on to shit on Fight Night players. Like, I can't blame. I mean, what else are you going to play? There's nothing out other than Fight Night champion UFC 4. I was like, "Oh, you suck. You should go shadowbox in your kitchen." Like, well, no, just let them play, man. They'll be fine. There will be an adjustment period where people have to get used to the game. But as with any game, I was good at UFC 3. I came into UFC 4 like, "Oh, I fucking got this." I didn't have it at all. Got knocked out repeatedly. But it's just the way it be. People will learn. As much as I don't want to say there will be a meta, people will learn it. Whether I believe the meta will be a more skill. So, you know, adjustments may be the meta. Constantly changing game plans. You know, you may need 12 game plans for a 12-round fight, but I know I've gone a bit off on a tangent here, but I just think there will be an adjustment period, but I don't think it's as steep off the bounce as people realize. The next level for the pros, like the people that are going to be, you know, have their Twitter bio as ESBC, ESFL champion ×3 kind of thing, like you know, all them ESFL champions that but you'll see they've changed. There's never been one ESFL champion that's been consistent champion for what, 2 or 3 years, because the meta changes, the game changes, and the same will change with that game. If you know, straight shots become easy to use, people may abuse that for a little while until someone comes and teaches them how to slip to the body. That'll be the way it shakes out.
Yeah, I'm glad you. No, go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, I'm glad that Studdy mentioned that. I'm not going to ask him another question after this. I just want to kind of talk about what he just said. But I think what he said is very important, because people think when we talk about, like, certain players won't be good in ESBC, like UFC players or Fight Night players, for example, we're not talking about the majority of the player base when we say that. What we're talking about are the people who basically abuse mechanics in the game and don't try to use any type of IQ or any type of rhyme or reason to how they play the game. Like Study, perfect example for that is somebody like Romero, like Study said. Romero's mind, if you ever hear him talk about UFC or anything of that nature, you can instantly pick up on he has a mind. He can break down and dissect different techniques and the rhyme or reason behind different patterns and things of that nature. You know he'll have a mind for a game like ESBC. Vice versa to that, on the other hand, would be somebody who's using, like, let's say, like John Jones in UFC 4, and they're just abusing, like, the Sotogari trip or just hitting you a bunch of knees and elbows. People who play like that are what we usually would consider, like, saying, like, they'll have a tough time in a game like ESBC. Because you're going to have to use your mind to, like I was saying, to make adjustments, pick up on your opponent's patterns and things like that. So if you're already in the mindset of, like, picking your shots, kind of, like, seeing what your opponent's doing, things like that, it'll be an easier transition for you. Vice versa, if you don't worry about any of that and you just try to abuse mechanics in the game you're playing, it's going to be a much tougher transition for you. So I kind of agree with Study on that sentiment.
Yeah, but I just wanna, ask Study, does he have any, like last thoughts, anything that he wants to leave for the community? Because a lot of times, creators in their videos, they really don't, get to go on tangents like you said, like this, and just sit here and talk. So there's like anything, you just wanna, leave the people off with.
Say the one thing is if it comes to ESBC, if we talk about that, I'd say the one thing that I think people need to remember the most is, as hard as it will be, you will have to play slow. That's the biggest thing. Once the stamina is at a realistic point, because it wasn't in the build we played, I was able to get it down at one point to having my opponent at 8% stamina, and he was just bollocks. But then his recovery was like 35%. I was like, well, that seems unfair. But beside that point, it is one of those things where the game will be played slow. Don't get me wrong. You could pick up Rocky Marciano and you could be guard up and just walking forward, cutting down the ring. But because of the tools they give you, I can probably avoid that for 4 or 5 rounds before I maybe get annoyed and try to, oh, fuck this, and then next thing I know, you're not there, you're over here, and you're going to crack me in the side of the head kind of thing. That's what people are going to have to get used to, is this slower pace game. So like when, say, someone like Romero, Prioxes make a tutorial, as I would imagine they will, on this combination or whatever they choose to make in the future, it will not be something that you can go into round 1 and use. It's going to have to be a lot of things. I believe a lot of things will be when your opponent is at 70% stamina, now is the prime opportunity to start working A, B, and C. And as much as I do talk the game up and it had its problems, I mean, people say, like, I kiss us. I spent 25-minute video ripping the shit out of it. But, like, also, I just want to say, because I can imagine a lot of ESBC fans will watch this, the new gameplay they put out for April was terrible. It was shocking. It was absolutely. I was so disappointed to see them say, "This is the build we played." I was like, "Oh, let's go!" I can finally, and then it's just this. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? They're just having sex with the stick. This is absolutely awful. I was genuinely disappointed by that, and I've said that to them. That, I haven't hid that from the devs, but oh yeah, great job, guys. I love that you just spammed hooks and uppercuts. Like, that's so simulation. Well done. I was pretty pissed, to be honest, that was the case. I spent the whole time saying how realistic it is, and then that went and happened. So I was pretty pissed about that. But as much as people think I talk up, I do believe that it is going to be this. It is something that I don't think we've ever experienced as people that play these kind of games. It is that realistic. The problem is with it as well is it is so realistic that you'll play as Crawford and you'll be like, oh, well, how often does Crawford get first round knockouts? So you won't push the pace with him. That might be what people learn to do. They might learn to say, I'm going to mix up the game plan here with using someone like Crawford, who normally takes his time. However, I'm going to push the pace here with Crawford. It's a risk to reward thing. He has decent stamina. Let's see how I do. If not, I know that Crawford can counter punch off the back for the last 6 rounds. I think that's just what people have to get used to, that you cannot use Fury and Crawford the same as you can with Cyril Gane and Conor McGregor in UFC. You can, I guarantee you, if I give that to Jay and so I say you use only these 6 combinations, he will play the same as McGregor and Cyril Gane if he had to. Whereas even if I forced him to play Fury as Crawford and Crawford as Fury, he wouldn't be able to in that game. That's kind of the point where I say about realism. It's not always about when you're in the ring with 2 blank AIs. It is, the fighters feel so different. Fury's got this like this, whereas Crawford's got that kind of snappier jab, and that's the point. The second you throw that first punch, you're like, fuck, they feel different. And that's kind of the point there.
Yeah, I think I think that was a great way to end it, and that was a real good point that you made about at the very end about Connor and Silvergun. Then this is one of my main gripes with UFC 4, how no one feels unique, like everybody feels the same. So I think that was a real good point, and I think people are gonna be looking forward to ESBC. But that is gonna be it for us. Be sure to go click those links down below in the description for Study, as we always do, and obviously our Twitter link is always in the description, live updates and things of that nature. But until next time, it has been Darkside, GMMA, and Study, and we will see y'all next time, man.